My name's Massey, and welcome to another episode of Homeschooled, the do-it-yourself show where I teach you how to be a little bit handy by fixing some things around the house and hopefully saving you a little bit of money in the process. Today's project is how to install some do-it-yourself flashing, and I'm not talking about whipping out your boobies. Flashing is just a basic term for a piece of metal that sheds water from a vertical surface out onto a horizontal surface and then off the edge of your roof. Because if the water gets down behind there and it goes underneath your roof, it'll get down onto the wood, and over time that water will rot the wood and you'll end up with a terrible mess on your hand, which is what I had here originally. The proper technique is to actually take a saw and to cut into the side of the building itself, take the metal, bend it, and stick it in there, and then seal that so that the water has one smooth surface to just kind of go down the face of it, off the front, out onto the roof, and out the other side. I rate these projects by how many F-bombs you can expect to drop while tackling the project. This one is pretty difficult because it requires a lot of different tools and techniques in order to accomplish the project. If at any point you are not comfortable operating these tools, practice on something else because it affects the integrity of your home, so make sure that you do this one right. Step one is kind of a two-part step. The first thing you need to do is prep the surface. Number two, you also need to get your materials. I got this from Home Depot. It's just kind of an angle bent piece of metal. Step two is to use your tape measure, measure up and see on your piece of metal. This one's about 4 inches. I know that I need to bend the metal and tuck it into the wall. So I'm gonna go on my metal here. I'll mark it 3.5. And then I wanna make sure that I mark the same measurement on the side of the house itself. Now that we got our measurements done, what we need to do now is take and use our chalk line and stretch a line all the way down across so that we have one straight line to follow with our saw. Hold it real tight. Voila! You got yourself a line. Next thing to do is to just get cutting. Because I'm cutting into stucco on this particular house, I have to use a masonry blade. Don't try to do this with a regular wood blade or you're gonna strip the teeth right out of it. Roadblock. Got a screw right there we gotta pull out. Chances are you don't have a metal brake to bend this metal. If you do, you're probably not watching this video. So I'm gonna do it the old-fashioned way. I'm just gonna use a brick, I'm gonna measure it, and I'm gonna bend the metal by hand. It's a little bit more of a pain in the ass, but I'm trying to save money. This is how I gotta do it. Beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Just keep on working your way down the line. It might take you a while, but you'll get there. Step number whatever is to put the metal into the wall and get it in there. So let's do it. Look at that. Look at that right in there first try. I'm not gonna say the rest of it's gonna go in that easy, but that did, which is important. It's getting there. Only 8 more feet to go. If you can avoid it, don't punch any holes in this. Don't put nails in it, don't put screws in it. If you do, make sure that you seal around it really good because water will end up getting in there and you'll end up with a whole other mess of problems. It's time to take a tube of flashing sealant or some other kind of flashing sealant and just hit down all the way across the top here. Make sure that there's a nice smooth surface for the water to kind of transition down, out onto here, and then out on the roof. You're going for function over form here. Doesn't really matter what it looks like, as long as it's effective. My dad used to say, looks good for my house. Use the weight of the brick to hold it down and seal it in there. You are done. Yeah. That's it for this episode of Homeschooled. If you have a project you need to be schooled in or a challenge you'd like to see me tackle, be sure to subscribe and leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. I got a heck of a mess to clean up there.